Hey everybody, hope and pray you're doing well. Ryan Cozy here with my good buddy, Jason.
He almost forgot.
I didn't forget.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, we wanted to have a conversation with you about some resources available to circle groups. And it kind of stems around the conversation that we're having on Sunday mornings, this conversation of legacy. And specifically, as it relates to legacy, there are conversations just on how we handle our time and our talent and our treasure. And we feel like that's a big part of stewarding our lives well for the glory of God. Chief end of man is the glory of God and to enjoy Him forever. And that means that in everything that we do, in the way we handle finances, in the way we handle our time, in the way that we use our gifts, the chief goal in that is to join God on His mission and to glorify Him. And so one of the things that we wanted to talk about briefly today was some helps that are available for folks in the area of generosity. And so Jason, there's kind of three courses that are available to folks. And I would love it if you could take some time to explain those to the good people that are circle group leaders here at the chapel.
I'd love to. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, so like Ryan said, we have 3 resources, 2 of which are going to be specifically for you guys as small group leaders, and you are the first people that we're introducing this to. I think that some really neat stuff happens in small group communities together, and I think that God's Spirit works in some really neat ways through that. And my small group and I have gone through some of this content together, and God's done some really neat stuff and just helped us have some really neat conversations through some of this material. So the first one is called Reimagine Generosity. It's more of a cinematic journey, so it's almost like watching a movie. It's not prescriptive teaching. It's more of a cinematic journey that you watch like 10 minutes a week for 5 weeks, or 4 weeks, I'm sorry. Through this one family's story and their journey into generosity. And it's not prescriptive teaching. It's just meant as something to get the conversation started around generosity. So it's a way for your group to start talking about that. And when I say generosity, I'm not always talking about money. Like sometimes generosity looks like time and how you're using your time. Sometimes it looks like relationships, like engaging in relational generosity. And stewarding your gifts. Like God's given all of us different individual gifts, and He may call us to use them in some different ways. And just to get the conversation started around how do we be generous with everything that God's given us? How do we live a generous life?
Yeah. So that's the first one.
That's the first one.
Generosity. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So what's the second one?
The second one is called Reimagine Stewardship. It's the same group of people that
there's a lot of reimagining going on here.
We're reimagining everything. Same group of people that made the Reimagine Generosity content, all extremely well done. And this one is more a holistic stewardship type of teaching. There's a focus on finance for the first few lessons. So it'll take you through things about debt, about stewarding, like budgeting and things like that. And it also dives into things like stewarding God's mission, stewarding your life. It dives into a whole bunch of different content. There's some excellent teachers there. Chip Ingram's one of the teachers in there. Randy Pope is a teacher. I don't know if you know who he is. Probably less popular.
Randy the Pope? I'm not aware.
Yeah, they brought in the biggest names they could find.
The big guns.
Yeah. But really, really great. This one is a bit more teaching, but it's also focused around small group conversation. And again, I think that some really neat stuff can happen throughout that. So if you're interested in engaging in either one of those, the Reimagine Stewardship or Reimagine Generosity, easiest way to get that to your small group, just reach out to me. You can call me or email me, or do you want to just put my email in the link below?
We will. We'll put the email. We'll put Jason's email in the link below, but we'll also have a link to each of the studies that you're promoting here. And
we'll have like a little video so you can, get a little bit more information about it, taking your small group through it. And if you want to just talk about it, I'm here as a resource for you.
He likes to talk.
He does. As you can tell, this video is already going way too long.
I'm not going to disagree with that. So what's the third one, Jason?
All right. So the third one is more for like if you or anybody in your group it just wants like some tactical financial knowledge. Like, hey, how do we do all this stuff, and give us some really specific tools to do that. The resource we have for you guys there is Financial Peace University. Now that one's not like a small group content. You can come to the class. It's going to be held at the church at the Cross Point Champus, the Crosspoint Champus.
The Crosspoint Champus. You know, it's similar to the Crosspoint Campus, but it's just the Champus.
It's like right next door.
Yeah, where the champions go.
So that one's going to be happening here at Crosspoint. And for that one, there's childcare available. And if you and your small group want to go through it together, we can make sure that you're all at the same table, hanging out, talking about it together. But that one's a bit more prescriptive teaching and giving you some very specific things to do. And there'll be more announcements coming out about it, but you can sign up for that at thechapel.com.
So a couple of things that I like about this idea. One is it speaks to our desire to want to collaborate within our ministries. But in addition to that, there are different levels with which people might be thinking about legacy and stewardship. So you might be in a situation where you just need some practical, tangible help. And that would be along the area of
Financial
FPU.
piece,
FPU. So, but you might be in a situation where you're doing those things okay, but you need some tweaking on how to be maybe a better steward in a couple of different areas. And so it seems like that second study might be helpful for that.
Correct.
And then finally, you might be thinking about just long-term legacy. Like, what am I leaving? What am I giving back as I try to bring God glory? And I have some of these other things locked down, but I'm just thinking more about the long-term implications. What will echo in eternity when people remember our names? And so it sounds like the third one, reimagining generosity, might be a really good one. So, Jason, I want to thank you for stopping by this public access channel. Today.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for listening if you made it this far.
Yeah.
And if there's any other ways that I can be a resource to you guys, who the Stewardship Ministry can be a resource to the folks leading small groups, we're here for you.
Go ahead and hit them with the digits, Jason. How can they get a hold of you?
All right, so you can call me at the chapel, 716-631.
2636.
Yep, there you go. Extension 256.
Boom.
You can shoot me an email to jwpappas@thechapel.com. If you miss the W, you'll get my wife, and she'll forward it on to me. So,
all right.
No worries.
Thank you for coming by.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Hey, get involved. Think about your legacy. Think about stewardship. And if you need help, we got that too.
Boom.
Blessings.